Good Saturday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. This is your outlook for February 1st, 2014, and we're starting a new month and a very stormy month looks like is going to be taking place as we head into the month of February here and say goodbye to March and those brutally cold temperatures that we experienced. We don't expect the temperatures this month to be quite as cold as far as departures from normal. We do think it's going to be slightly below average for the month. But we're going to have well above normal precipitation, many chances of storms, and yes, some of those will be winter storms. So start off with Saturday here. We're going to start off February on the mild side. We're going to have a warm front that's going to be pushing through. Here's the low pressure system moving up through the Great Lakes. This is going to take a path kind of like this and end up to the east of Maine eventually. And it's going to have a warm front that's an association with this system that's going to push through, also pushing north. This is just like we illustrated last night, and then as this pushes north, you're going to have a surge of warm air that's going to move out ahead of it for both Saturday and Sunday. So this weekend is going to be very mild, especially it's going to feel really warm compared to what we've been dealing with for basically the entire month of January. It's been very, very cold. And we're going to look at a little bit of a break from that, but we're not getting ridiculously high in temperatures, but at the same time, it'll feel like we are just because of in relation to where we were for this past month. Okay, now we're going to move this a little bit forward in time, and we're going to take this from to the next frame here. GFS is still showing some icing, some minor icing up here, maybe some sleet early on here. We're going to move over to the NAM high res, and that's this is actually for noon on Saturday. Where it is colder up north, you might have some sleet pellets mixed in here, and you see the NAM high res is taking that up here also to northern Pennsylvania. So areas in the north Pennsylvania, northeast PA, the upper part of northeastern PA, don't be surprised if you have a passing shower, either rain or snow shower, maybe a little bit of sleet. And nothing too crazy here, but there's going to be favoring northern areas where that warm front as it moves through. And the warm front starts off down here, and you can see where the progression of the showers go. They kind of go due north, and that's where that warm front moves through. And then behind it back here, we remain mostly cloudy in this area here, but the warm temperatures are going to surge in, and we're going to get well into the 40s in many locations throughout our coverage area here on your day on Saturday. Let's go back to the GFS now. And this is actually looking for that cold front that is going to be associated with this low pressure. It's now way off the map here. It's actually sitting up here. There's a cold front that's going to be draped back here like this, and you can see it's going to be draped way back here. And this boundary is going to be important. This is going to actually crash down to the south here, but it's not going to get too far south, we don't think, and that's going to set the stage for Monday for a little sneaky event. Now, the GFS is not really too overly impressed with this, but it has been continually creeping north with this. And this would be, of course, Monday morning. Now, the GFS actually brings it in a little bit slower. This is actually 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. We were thinking more of a early Monday morning and ending early afternoon on Monday. The GFS is much slower with this this little wave of low pressure here. But you can see this is all snow because it's much colder here on Monday. And the GFS is getting a little bit further north. Now the Canadian model actually takes this line of snow up to about here. So GFS doesn't get it up quite that high, but is getting closer. The European model takes this line of snow kind of like up to here. Now this is a big difference as far as the forecasts are concerned, because the further north this gets, the more areas they get into this snow here. And we do think it's going to keep continuing north here because everything has been the NAM and the GFS are the two models that are not showing the snow, and they have been continually pushing this north here, which is a trend we usually see within. As we get within a couple days of the storm here, we'll see a northwest trend. While the other models are remaining consistent, this is going to be further to the north here for this threat. The GFS and the NAM are now coming in alignment with that. So we're going to go with the premise that it is going to be a little bit further north. So we have alerted our counties in east central PA, northern New Jersey, as well, even though the GFS is not indicating that it will get up that far. We think it will. So we'll follow out this weekend. If we do have to issue a map or a series of maps this weekend, we will do that, and we'll alert you when it happens here. Now this system here's the GFS as it pulls it off here again. It's off the southeast coast here. Basically gets snow up to I-78 and everything points south, but we do think it's going to go a little bit further than that. Not too far to northeast PA here. You know, I think it's everything stays south of Scranton. Scranton will probably be your cutoff, and I guess that's I-81 up here. And this is where we think we're going to have the snows coming in, and you're going to have accumulating snow, probably a 1 to 3, 2 to 4, maybe even 3 to 6 in some spots. We'll take a look at that as we get you know, a little bit closer and get better model agreement this weekend. Now we're going to move on to the next system, and this is going to be a very big system. This is not a small system by any stretch of the imagination. The only problem is this is going to be a slop storm. Now this is going to start off, we think, as snow, and now the GFS has done something a little bit differently this time. And these models have been going back and forth on this idea here, but you're going to have this low pressure that's going to be cutting up in, to our west here. It's going to attempt a transfer to a secondary, but I think it's going to do so too late. So the secondaries are actually going to be transferred up here when it's a little bit past our latitude, so it doesn't really help us. So because of this primary is going to hold on a little bit longer, we have some warm air advection coming in, and this is not going to be the surface, it's going to be the mid-levels. So we're going to start off with some snow and some heavy snow up in these areas up here that it's going to go over to sleet and freezing rain. Now the latest GFS has actually cut down on the amount of icing because it's giving more snow on the front end here. And if you don't want significant icing, like some of the models are showing, like the Canadian model and the European model can't show on here anymore because of some copyright infringement issues with the European model. So you just have to take my word for it. We had a very icy situation here today on the European model that ran, and you know, if you don't want the ice, you want more of a snow on the front, and the longer you can hold on to the snow, the better. And the GFS is doing that before it does change it over to sleet and then eventually freezing rain. Still get the icing, but I don't think it's as significant as shown here in the GFS in the latest run here that ran overnight. The next frame here, you see the freezing rain's now moved up here into northeastern PA. All your heavy snow's up in New York, and everywhere else is going over to rain. Now here's the problem I have with this. The GFS is not going to be able to pick up on this too well. It does have the freezing rain up in this area here, but I think it's actually going to be a little bit further south in the Susquehanna Valley, Lehigh Valley. You'd probably take it a little bit further south here. Even though it's showing green here, I think this is freezing rain because the valleys are going to hold on to that cold air a little bit longer, and you can get into a little bit more of an icing that's going to wait right into Wednesday morning, and it may linger into like mid or late morning in some areas. So even though this GFS is bringing the warmer air in here and it's showing rain, we're not taking this verbatim because we know how that works around here, and these valley locations especially like to hold on to the cold air a little bit longer. And then this will end as rain for everybody, we think, except for extreme northern areas here may hold on to a little bit longer before this thing moves out, and then that's history. GFS, because it does do the it does hold on to the snow longer. I'm going to see if I can increase this a little bit and see change the resolution, and it did not change the resolution, so that's good. I just wanted to show you what we're looking at as far as snow here. This is on the GFS. Now I do want to point out that everything south of this line here is not accumulating. This is all from the first storm that comes on Monday. So this is just 2-3 inches of snow here. This does not occur with that Tuesday night into Wednesday storm, and maybe just a very brief snowflakes, and it goes over to freezing rain and then rain. So for the southern areas south of that line, for this is basically I-95 here. When you go north of there, this is all accumulating snow, or most of it is accumulating snow from the Tuesday night into Wednesday system. You're getting some very significant snowfall here now. Some of these totals here are approaching a foot in some places up here in the Poconos. I don't know if we go that high here, but you know, it's definitely showing more snow. Same idea here, even like in the Lehigh Valley here, is showing like about 8 inches, 7-8 inches of snow up in this area here, up in northwest New Jersey. If that happens, that'll be great. I know some of you don't like snow, but I mean, this is really what you want, is if you don't want the icing. I mean, you're going to get icing regardless. The longer you can hold on to snow, the less ice you have to deal with. The ice is what causes more problems than the snow. So, you know, if you get more snow on the front end, I know the snow lovers will be happy with that. You know, we're getting more snow here, but it's better. It's a less dangerous situation to deal with. So, you know, we'll be watching that over the next couple of days. I'm expecting the models to go back and forth with the system in the midweek, and we'll have to narrow that down, because this is a more significant storm with a lot more moisture to work with. So this one will be a very tricky forecast, as always, when you're dealing with a snow versus ice and rain situation and trying to figure out where that sets up. We'll be on top of it, though. We'll be very busy this week keeping you informed. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your weekend outlook for February 1st and February 2nd, 2014, Saturday and Sunday. Have a great weekend.